and welcome along to the Copa Libertadores magazine show 2020.
Dave Winter is a freelance sports commentator and now a saver. Like many, Dave's world was turned upside down when Covid hit. With no work available, he got through the difficult months by tightening his belt and leaning on the UK government's financial support scheme. Now his income's back up close to pre-pandemic levels, but some of his new saving habits have stuck.
Before the pandemic, I was definitely a big spender. There's nothing I love more than going on holiday, going to restaurants with friends, spending my money and enjoying life, really. My spending habits have changed largely in the day-to-day. Eating out with friends is a bit of a luxury, you could say. I'm starting to put more money away for the years to come, and I never did that previously.
It's a familiar tale across the country. Research by the bank Santander found that half of adults have set up a rainy day fund. And according to a survey by investment service Hargreaves Lansdown, 32% of Brits plan to go out less in the future, and 31% will cut back on impulse spending.
Our research showed that people are worried about what's going to happen, and about half said they really wanted to save all the money that they'd sort of not spent during the lockdown. They wanted to put that into their emergency savings. The problem is obviously that once we're sort of let out of our houses and able to go back to life a bit more normally, and people don't tend to stick with those kind of resolutions. They tend to be a bit tested.
But a shift towards more conservative spending habits is having an impact on borrowing. The Bank of England announced in December that consumer credit borrowing had fallen at the sharpest annual rate since records began 26 years ago. And borrowing using credit cards, overdrafts and personal loans fell by 5.6% in October. It's been a devastating year for the UK high street, and hopes for next year are that pent-up demand will help fuel an economic recovery. But will these new consumer habits mean that people are spending less time in the shops and more time here?
There's been this huge increase in saving. I mean, it was 28% of income. Normally it hovers around 5 or 6%. So are they going to go on a spending binge as soon as this all passes? I don't think so. And I think that's where the risk aversion will kick in.
The days of me going out and spending money on coffee every day, for example, without thinking anything of it, those days I think are long gone, even past this pandemic. Life in the future might be quite uncertain, the possibility potentially of pandemics or situations in the future. So the world feels like less of a stable place.
Spending habits and personal finances in the UK continue to be affected by the virus and the restrictions that come with it. The extent of any economic recovery next year will depend on whether people stick to their new habits or whether it's all talk.
This semi-final is not done just yet.
Oliver Egan, TRT World, London.